Hi folks, we're going to make a tracker video today. So I just opened the software, and the first thing you want to do when you open it is go right up here where it says video, import the video. I searched through my files and found here under my Yahoo Mail uploads, that's where I emailed you the video, and so I'm going to open that file that I emailed you, I hope. Oh, wait, you just select it and open. Okay, so it's opening that file. And then we have to select the little tiny piece of that video that we want to work with. And it's right at the end. I played with it for a minute, and it looked like starting right around frame 933, maybe 932. Is really where the ball has already come off the board and isn't like bouncing off the board, so it's actually on the table. And then I'll stop like 1 or 2 frames, or as close as I can get to where the ball hits the book. So watching the whole video clip is, you know, a much longer time frame than the little piece that we actually need. So I'm on frame 873. I happen to know I want to be on like 932. Tell what I'm on right now. Can't see the ball yet though, so alright, so we can see the ball coming right off the board. I think I don't want to start, oh, that's way too far. I don't want to start until the ball is on the table. So 932, frame 932 is like, I want probably 933. Okay, there's 935. Oh, it moved back again. Oh, it is a challenge to get it in the right place, so bear with me. I'll scoot tiniest bit. Okay. Nah. That's 932. And that is 940. And I really want somewhere in between. And it's just very difficult to get it. How's that? 940. Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna start. I step forward. See, if I step it forward to right there, it doesn't put the little black arrow that I need. To the place where I want it. Oh, is it right on it? Yes. Okay. So it looks like that's frame 935, and I'm going to start it there. I'm going to end it. Let's see. So, okay, yeah, it's not a very long video here, so let's see. It's already bouncing back, so I have a very short video. So we grab the other slider. No, 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 I wish there were an undo button. I can't believe I just moved the wrong slider. Okay. So I'll try to get back to 9:35. Oh, is that it? Yes, okay, there's 9:35 at the beginning, and end frame, it's already bouncing back right there. Alright, so I'm going to play from here and just see. Okay, so it's not quite far enough because the ball is still kind of far from the book. Alright, and that is too far. It already hit and bounced. So we'll just... Alright, so let's see what we've got if we play that tiny piece of video. Alright, it's rolling. And it does stop before it hits the book. So that's a good piece of video. That's what we want, I think. Okay, so now that we have that chosen, I'll just set it to frame, what is now frame 1 of the selected piece. Then two things you have to do before you can analyze your video. This right here sets a measurement, like a calibration stick. We know that the distance between the board and the book is 1.000 meters. So not 100, but 1, because we measured that to be 1 meter, right? It doesn't take units in Tracker. We know it's meter. So we set that to be 1 meter from there to there. And then I'm going to set, actually I might not set my axis until I make my track. So then the next thing that you do is actually track the object. So now I've got my distance set, and you use this button right here that says create. So you go create point mass. And then it's going to track mass A. So I'm on frame 1. And then if you hold the shift, the shift button, see how my cursor changes from an arrow to a little box? And then you just pick something. I'm going to always track the center of the kind of blurry ball. You could track like the leading edge or the rear edge. So I'm track the center of this ball, and it automatically moves it forward. And then I'm just going to click on the center, and keep going like that. There's also an auto tracker function, which you can play with or watch another video about. And it works fairly well, actually, maybe even better than tracking it by hand, but this is a very short video clip, so I'm going to track it by hand. So I'm just holding down the shift button to keep my little box. Every time I click on the place that I want, it advances it a frame, or you can change it to advance like 2 frames or whatever. So just, oh, that one was a little bit too far ahead. That might not have been exactly in the center a couple frames ago. We'll probably be able to see that one that I kind of missed on when we look at the data. Okay, so it is currently graphing it as a position versus time graph. That might be my last frame. No, one more. All right, there we go. So I have 25 data points. If we look here, we've got a position versus time graph. And so we can see that the position is moving along. Then when you think position versus time graph, you think, oh, the slope of the line is velocity. We expected that the ball would have a constant velocity once it came off the board and it was rolling on the table, right? There's nothing causing it to accelerate. It's no longer on a slant. It doesn't have a little jetpack. So if its acceleration is 0, its velocity should be constant. That's ignoring friction. And it does look like the slope here is constant. Maybe it curves the tiniest bit, but it looks pretty constant. Looks like it's, passing, it's going up 0.2 for every 0.2. It looks like it has a constant slope of about 1 the entire time that it's rolling that 1 meter. So that's what we had hoped for and expected. It looks like friction. Oh, this is the point I missed on, I think. It looks like friction didn't play a huge role in slowing down the ball, so it did seem to have a pretty constant velocity. So, slope of a position versus time graph is velocity. It seems constant. Now, here's where we play with Tracker, and it might get kind of confusing. So if you click on the axes, like this is position, delta x, here's time. We of course don't want to change time, but I am going to try to change position. So I'm going to click right on that x, and instead of position, I'm going to change it to velocity. So here, the x component of velocity, you guys haven't learned that, or we can just look at velocity magnitude, and maybe we'll do both. So here's the x component of velocity, and it looks like it's all over the place, right? But if we actually kind of think about it, we looked at that slope and we said this slope looks like it tracks a pretty constant 1 meter per second, right? It went 0.2 seconds, 0.2 meters, 0.4 seconds, 0.4 meters. It looked like it had a really constant slope of 1. So let's try playing around with this graph a little bit. I'm going to zoom out. So right clicking and zooming out here. And then I don't want negative time. Negative time doesn't make any sense, does it? No, it does not. So let's see if I can get my 0 point here. Maybe squish the y-axis down a little bit. So if we kind of make this make a little more sense. Let's see if I can get 0 in the right place here. I'm no great tracker expert yet, but so if we look at this, and you guys were tracking it right around 0.8 seconds, which it looks like the video shows that also, so your stopwatch skills are good. But if we look at this, it looks like kind of if you took a best fit line of this data, it does hover right around a velocity of 1.0 meter per second. And when you zoom that graph out, it doesn't look so choppy. It looks like, you know, maybe just my ability to hit the data point right on is causing some of this variation. But it looks like kind of the average of the velocity there is hovering right at 1, some below, some above. So velocities, you know, the graph of velocity is fairly constant. And if I look at acceleration graph, let's look at velocity magnitude. So once again, playing with the axes kind of makes things a little more obvious, right? If I kind of, so acceleration, no, this is still velocity. So you can see pretty much the same. Now I'll make it acceleration. And kind of move the axis so that we have the 0 right there. And you can see that we expected acceleration when it was rolling on the table there to be 0. You can see that it does hover right around the 0 line. And it's basically as much above as below. So acceleration of 0 over that time frame seems to be pretty close. So I would say this is a fairly informative way to graph data, look at data. The more we play with the axes, the more you can kind of start to see what that should look like. So, you know, I definitely like having the ability to really time the thing with video instead of with stopwatch, although it just makes me confident that you guys are doing a good job in the lab. And I think this will be useful for other labs that we do, just so we can kind of watch the videos. But I hope that at least gives you the very bare minimum basics of how to use Tracker, and hope you're having a great week.